There is a mystery to beginnings, and there is a language that the morning understands. When the earth awakens, when the atmosphere is still tender, when the noise of yesterday has not yet found its voice, that moment becomes an altar. Life responds not just to effort but to alignment, and every day you rise without alignment, you outsource your outcomes to chance. But when a man or woman learns to stand deliberately at the gate of the day, speaking with understanding and authority, the day is compelled to respond. Lift your heart and your hands wherever you are. Let your spirit rise above the weight of sleep and routine. Father of light, source of breath and destiny, we acknowledge you as the giver of days and the keeper of times. This morning, we do not rush ahead of you. We submit this day, its hours, its meetings, its conversations, its opportunities, into your hands. Let mercy speak before judgment. Let favor go ahead of us and make crooked paths straight. By the authority of faith, we declare that this day will not waste our strength. It will not swallow our efforts. Every assignment attached to today receives clarity. Every confusion dissolves by the light of understanding. Where decisions must be made, wisdom speaks. Where doors must open, favor knocks louder than resistance. We decree that delay loses its hold, stagnation breaks its grip, and progress answers us speedily. We command our minds to be sharp, our hearts to be guarded, and our steps to be ordered. No distraction will steal focus, no fear will dominate thought, no hidden trap will prosper. We speak peace into our emotions, discipline into our actions, and excellence into our labor. Let our words today carry grace. Let our work attract reward. Let our presence command respect without striving. We declare prosperity not as a product of anxiety, but as a covenant of obedience and alignment. The labor of our hands is blessed, ideas find expression, efforts yield results, helpers arise from expected and unexpected places. We refuse struggle as a lifestyle. We step into ease powered by grace, sustained by diligence, and preserved by wisdom. This morning we place a spiritual covering over this day. Every arrow fired in secret returns void. Every agenda not planted by God loses relevance. Our going out is blessed. Our coming in is preserved. We walk consciously under divine supervision. Even in the ordinary, let the extraordinary find us. As this day unfolds, we remain sensitive, responsive, and grateful. We will not rush past divine instructions. We will not ignore gentle nudges. We will not miss our moment. Today answers to us with favor, productivity, and peace. And when the sun sets, we will testify that alignment made the difference. Amen. The morning is not just a transition between night and activity. It is a spiritual gateway that determines how the rest of the day will respond. There are dimensions of life that do not respond to speed, intelligence, or effort alone. They respond to timing and alignment. Morning hours carry a unique spiritual sensitivity because the soul is less crowded, the mind is less noisy, and the atmosphere is more receptive. What you do at the beginning of a day often sets the spiritual tone that governs outcomes, resistance, and ease. This is why many people work hard all day yet experience invisible resistance, while others move with uncommon grace despite similar challenges. The difference is often not strength, but alignment at the gate of the day. Every day comes with permissions, instructions, and battles already attached to it. When you wake up, you are not starting from zero. You are stepping into a flow of events that have already been authorized in the realm of the Spirit. If you rush into the day without engaging that realm, you submit yourself to reacting rather than governing. The morning gives you the privilege of speaking before circumstances speak, declaring before opposition rises, and aligning before pressure builds. It is in the morning that you can frame the day with words, faith, and direction, rather than spending the day repairing damage. Scripturally and experientially, mornings have always been moments of divine encounter, instruction, and empowerment. Strength is renewed, clarity is restored, and direction is released when the day is still young. The spirit of a man is most impressionable early in the day, which makes it the best time to deposit truth, authority, and vision. When this window is ignored, the heart often becomes cluttered by demands, distractions, and emotional weight, making spiritual sensitivity harder as the day progresses. Understanding mornings as gateways shifts your posture from casual to intentional. You stop waking up merely to survive schedules and begin waking up to legislate outcomes. Prayer in the morning is not a ritual, it is governance. Declarations in the morning are not noise. They are instructions to time, opportunities, and systems. When you align early, you reduce unnecessary warfare later. You move from chasing peace to walking in it, from begging for favor to attracting it naturally. Those who honor mornings understand that success is not only about what you do, but when and from where you do it. They learn that a few aligned minutes at dawn can save hours of struggle later. The morning is the altar where the day is dedicated, corrected, and empowered. And when that altar is honored consistently, life begins to respond with predictability, clarity, and grace. Alignment of the spirit before engaging the environment is one of the most overlooked principles of effective living. Many people wake up and immediately confront messages, responsibilities, pressures, and conversations without first checking the state of their inner man. Yet life does not first respond to what you face outwardly. It responds to who you are inwardly. When the spirit is misaligned, even simple tasks become heavy, decisions become confusing, and progress feels resisted. But when the spirit is properly aligned, the same environment that overwhelms others begins to cooperate with you. The human spirit is the command center of perception, discernment, and authority. Whatever dominates the spirit eventually influences emotions, thoughts, words, and actions. This is why beginning the day without spiritual alignment often leads to reactive living. You are not directing the day, you are responding to it. Alignment brings you into a place of calm authority where you are not hurried by pressure or intimidated by uncertainty. Before stepping into traffic, conversations, or work, the spirit must first be positioned correctly so that external stimuli do not control internal posture. Spiritual alignment is not about perfection, it is about orientation. It is the act of deliberately turning your heart toward truth, light, and divine order. When this happens early, the soul settles, the mind becomes clearer, and emotional balance is restored. Anxiety loses its grip because the spirit is no longer fragmented. Fear weakens because confidence is anchored beyond circumstances. This alignment creates inner coherence, where thoughts, emotions, and decisions move in the same direction instead of pulling against each other. When the spirit is aligned, discernment becomes sharper. You begin to sense what to engage and what to ignore, what to pursue and what to postpone. Not every opportunity is beneficial, and not every battle deserves your energy. Alignment gives you the wisdom to conserve strength and invest focus wisely. It also protects you from absorbing the emotional chaos of your environment. Instead of carrying other people's pressure, moods, and urgency, you move with composure and clarity. Engaging the environment without alignment is like stepping into a storm without proper covering. You may survive, but you will be unnecessarily drained. Alignment acts as a spiritual shield, filtering what enters your heart and determining how you respond. It allows you to influence your surroundings rather than being shaped by them. Over time, this produces consistency, stability, and authority in daily living. Those who master this principle understand that productivity flows from alignment, not activity. Before they speak to people, answer demands, or make decisions, they first settle their spirit. In doing so, they carry peace into pressure, wisdom into complexity, and strength into responsibility, and the day responds accordingly. Declaring authority over time, events, and outcomes is an expression of spiritual responsibility, not arrogance. Time is not neutral, it responds to voices of authority. Events do not simply happen at random. They are shaped by words, decisions, and permissions released ahead of them. When a person fails to declare over their day, they unconsciously allow circumstances, pressure, and other people's agendas to take control. Authority must be exercised deliberately, or it will be overridden by stronger voices and systems already speaking. Every day is a territory, and territories respond to governance. If you do not define the direction of your day, distractions will. If you do not set expectations, chaos will. Declaring authority in the morning is the act of establishing order before disorder has a chance to manifest. It is speaking structure into time, giving instruction to hours, and assigning purpose to moments. This is not wishful thinking. It is alignment with a higher order where words carry creative and legislative power. When authority is not declared, time often feels rushed, scattered, and unproductive. Hours slip away with little to show for them, and important tasks are delayed or interrupted. But when authority is exercised, time begins to cooperate. You find yourself completing assignments with focus, meeting the right people at the right moments, and avoiding unnecessary detours. This is because authority creates boundaries, and boundaries protect value. You are no longer at the mercy of urgency. You are guided by purpose. Declaring authority also means refusing negative outcomes before they take shape. Fear, failure, confusion, and loss often seek early entry into the day through thoughts and emotions. When authority is asserted, these intrusions are denied access. You decide what is permitted to influence your mind and what is not. This clarity empowers you to respond rather than react, to lead rather than follow circumstances. Events are influenced long before they occur. Conversations, meetings, and decisions carry spiritual weight even before they happen. Declaring authority in advance positions you to shape these events instead of being shaped by them. You walk into situations already aligned, already prepared, and already covered. This reduces anxiety and increases confidence because you are not hoping for a good outcome. You have already spoken toward one. Those who understand this principle do not see declarations as empty words. They see them as instructions to life, to time, and to systems. By consistently declaring authority, they develop mastery over their days. Outcomes become more predictable, resistance becomes manageable, and progress becomes intentional because the day is no longer leading them. They are leading the day with understanding and spiritual command. Breaking cycles of delay, frustration, and confusion begins with the recognition that not every repeated struggle is normal or accidental. When patterns persist despite effort, intelligence, and sincerity, it is often an indication that something deeper than strategy is required. Cycles are sustained by unseen permissions, habits of thought, emotional responses, and spiritual neglect. A person may be working hard, praying occasionally, and staying busy, yet still find themselves returning to the same disappointing outcomes. Until cycles are confronted intentionally, they continue to recycle familiar pain in different forms. Delay drains hope gradually. It does not always arrive loudly. It comes subtly, pushing results further away, stretching timelines, and exhausting patience. Frustration then follows, weakening motivation and creating emotional fatigue. Confusion eventually sets in, blurring clarity and making even simple decisions feel heavy. These three often work together, feeding each other and trapping individuals in a loop where movement feels real, but progress is absent. Breaking this cycle requires more than persistence. It requires intervention at the level where the cycle is sustained. Cycles are often reinforced by unchallenged beliefs and repeated reactions. When disappointment becomes familiar, people begin to expect it unconsciously. They plan defensively, speak cautiously, and lower expectations to avoid pain. Over time, this mindset authorizes delay and frustration to remain. Breaking the cycle means confronting these internal agreements and replacing them with truth, authority, and intentional declarations. What is tolerated internally eventually manifests externally. Morning alignment plays a critical role in cycle. breaking because cycles thrive in neglect and inconsistency. When days begin without clarity or direction, old patterns find easy access. But when a person deliberately confronts the day with awareness, authority, and faith, cycles lose momentum. Each morning becomes an opportunity to interrupt repetition, to speak against familiar outcomes, and to introduce new instructions into the flow of life. Breaking cycles also requires patience with the process of change. Cycles do not always collapse instantly. Some weaken gradually as new patterns are consistently enforced. Each aligned decision, each refusal to react emotionally, and each deliberate act of faith chips away at the old structure. Over time, what once felt inevitable begins to feel optional, and what once felt confusing begins to make sense. Those who successfully break cycles understand that clarity is a weapon. When confusion is removed, direction emerges. When frustration is addressed, strength returns. When delay is challenged, movement begins. They refuse to normalize stagnation or excuse repeated defeat. Instead, they choose intentional alignment, disciplined thinking, and consistent spiritual engagement. And as these practices take root, cycles that once defined their lives lose authority, collapse quietly, and are replaced by progress, confidence, and forward motion. Inviting divine order into your decisions and steps is the difference between movement and progress. Many people are active, busy, and constantly making choices, yet their lives feel disorganized and scattered because order is missing. Order is not speed, and it is not perfection. It is alignment. When order is absent, even good decisions can produce poor outcomes, and sincere efforts can lead to confusion. Life begins to make sense when decisions are made from a place of structure rather than pressure. Every decision carries consequences beyond the moment it is made. Some decisions open doors while others silently close opportunities without immediate signs. Without divine order, people often decide based on urgency, emotion, fear, or external influence. This leads to steps that feel right temporarily but create complications later. Inviting order means surrendering the need to control outcomes and choosing to be guided instead. It is an acknowledgement that not all choices are equal, and not every path is safe simply because it is available. Divine order brings sequence into life. It ensures that what comes next is appropriate for where you are now. Many frustrations arise not because something is wrong, but because something is premature or delayed. Order corrects timing. It teaches patience when waiting is required and boldness when movement is necessary. When order governs decisions, you stop forcing doors and begin recognizing the ones meant to open naturally. This reduces unnecessary struggle and emotional exhaustion. Order also simplifies complexity. When life feels overwhelming, it is often because too many things are competing for attention at the same time. Divine order filters distractions and clarifies priorities. It helps you identify what truly matters now and what can wait. This clarity protects energy and focus. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions, your steps become intentional and your progress becomes steady. Inviting order daily is essential because disorder easily returns when neglected. Each day presents new choices, conversations, and opportunities that can easily derail alignment. Beginning the day with a conscious surrender of decisions allows wisdom to guide responses as situations unfold. You become less reactive and more discerning. You listen more carefully, speak more thoughtfully, and act with greater confidence because your steps are no longer random. When divine order is present, peace accompanies decisions even before outcomes are visible. You may not always understand the full picture, but there is an inner assurance that you are moving correctly. This peace becomes a compass, helping you recognize when something is out of alignment. Over time, this practice builds trust, stability, and consistency in life. Those who walk in order experience fewer regrets clearer direction, and stronger outcomes. They understand that success is not only about choosing what is good, but choosing what is right in the right sequence. As divine order governs their decisions and steps, confusion loses its grip, direction becomes clearer, and life begins to flow with purpose, balance, and quiet confidence. Activating wisdom, discernment, and clarity for the day is essential because information alone does not guarantee right decisions. Many people know what to do but still choose wrongly because clarity is missing at the moment of decision. Wisdom is the ability to apply truth correctly. Discernment is the sensitivity to perceive what is hidden beneath appearances, and clarity is the freedom from inner confusion. When these three are active, life becomes less complicated, and decisions carry fewer regrets. Without them, even simple situations can feel overwhelming and uncertain. Every day presents options that look similar on the surface but lead to very different outcomes. Some opportunities are distractions in disguise, while some challenges are doors to growth. Discernment allows you to sense the difference. It helps you read between words, understand motives, and recognize timing. When discernment is absent, people misjudge situations, trust wrongly, or resist what is meant to help them. Activating discernment early positions you to navigate conversations, relationships, and opportunities with insight rather than assumption. Wisdom governs response. It teaches you when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. Many conflicts and losses are not caused by bad intentions, but by poor responses. Wisdom keeps emotions from hijacking judgment. It enables you to respond from understanding rather than impulse. When wisdom is active, you do not feel pressured to prove anything or react to everything. You choose responses that protect peace, preserve dignity, and produce long-term benefit. Clarity removes mental fog. Confusion drains energy and weakens confidence, making even capable people doubt themselves. When clarity is present, thoughts are organized, priorities are visible, and focus is restored. You stop second, guessing every decision and begin to move with assurance. Clarity does not mean you have all the answers. It means you know your next step. This alone is enough to keep momentum alive and prevent stagnation. Activating these qualities at the start of the day is crucial because pressure increases as the day progresses. Once demands, voices, and expectations compete for attention, it becomes harder to hear inner guidance. Morning alignment sharpens perception before noise enters. It prepares the mind to recognize truth quickly and reject confusion early. This reduces stress and prevents emotional overload. Those who consistently activate wisdom, discernment, and clarity experience stability in uncertain environments. They are not easily manipulated, rushed, or confused. Their decisions are deliberate, their relationships healthier, and their outcomes more consistent. Over time, this produces a life marked by accuracy rather than regret. When wisdom directs actions, discernment guards perception, and clarity stabilizes thought, the day unfolds with confidence, purpose, and quiet authority. Establishing prosperity as a covenant rather than a wish transforms how a person approaches life, work, and expectation. A wish is passive and uncertain, dependent on luck, mood, or external conditions. But a covenant is a conscious agreement that governs behavior, thinking, and alignment. When prosperity is treated as a wish, people hope things improve while remaining inconsistent, fearful, or reactive. When it is understood as a covenant, responsibility replaces anxiety, and discipline replaces desperation. Prosperity then becomes a path to walk, not a miracle to wait for. A covenantal mindset recognizes that increase is sustained by principles, not emotions. Prosperity is not merely the accumulation of money. It is the presence of sufficiency, stability, growth, and peace across life's system. This perspective removes the pressure to force results or compare progress with others. Instead, it focuses on faithfulness, consistency, and alignment. People who see prosperity as a covenant understand that their daily choices either honor or violate the agreement they expect life to respond to. This mindset reshapes how effort is applied. Work is no longer driven by fear of lack, but by purpose and excellence. Decisions are not made out of panic, but out of long-term vision. When prosperity is covenantal, shortcuts lose appeal because they threaten sustainability. Integrity becomes valuable, patience becomes possible, and delayed gratification becomes a strength rather than a weakness. The individual stops chasing quick gains and begins building systems that support lasting increase. Establishing prosperity as a covenant also redefines setbacks. Losses, delays, or temporary scarcity are no longer interpreted as failure or rejection. They are seen as seasons of learning, adjustment, and refinement. This protects the heart from bitterness and the mind from hopelessness. Instead of quitting or compromising, the person evaluates alignment, corrects errors, and continues forward. This resilience is one of the strongest indicators of true prosperity. Morning alignment plays a vital role in reinforcing this covenant. Each day begins with intentional affirmation of values, purpose, and responsibility. This daily reinforcement keeps the mind from drifting into entitlement or discouragement. It reminds the individual that prosperity responds to order, wisdom, and diligence. Over time, this consistency builds confidence and stability because progress is no longer random but expected as a result of alignment. Those who live with this understanding do not beg life for increase. They position themselves for it. They manage resources wisely, steward opportunities carefully, and guard their attitudes intentionally. Their confidence is calm, not aggressive, because it is rooted in principle rather than pressure. As this covenantal mindset matures, prosperity expresses itself naturally through growth, peace, and influence, and life begins to respond with consistency, honor, and sustainable abundance. Shielding your day from unseen battles and distractions is a necessity because not every challenge announces itself openly. Many of the forces that drain strength, distort focus, and delay progress operate subtly, influencing thoughts, emotions, and decisions without drawing attention. A person may feel unusually tired, irritated, unfocused, or discouraged without a clear reason, not realizing that these are often the effects of unguarded exposure. When a day is not intentionally covered, distractions and pressures gain easy access, slowly weakening resolve and clarity. Unseen battles often begin in the mind. A single negative thought, if unchecked, can multiply into doubt, fear, or anxiety, shaping how situations are interpreted. Distractions rarely arrive as obvious threats. They appear as harmless interruptions, unnecessary conversations, emotional reactions, or misplaced priorities. Over time, these small leaks drain energy and productivity. Shielding the day means setting boundaries early, deciding what is allowed to influence your mind and what is not. It is choosing awareness over vulnerability. Spiritual and emotional shielding does not mean isolation or withdrawal from responsibility. It means engaging life from a position of strength rather than exposure. When a person begins the day without guarding their inner space, they become reactive, absorbing pressure from people, environments, and circumstances. This leads to emotional exhaustion and impulsive decisions. But when shielding is activated early, the heart remains steady even when demands increase. You respond with clarity instead of confusion, and with peace instead of frustration. Distractions are particularly dangerous because they masquerade as urgency. Not everything demanding attention deserves it. Shielding helps filter what truly matters from what merely feels pressing. This discernment preserves focus and protects purpose. It allows you to invest energy where it produces value rather than scattering it across distractions that leave you busy but unfulfilled. Over time, this discipline creates consistency and depth in results. Unseen battles also include emotional residue from past experiences. Old disappointments, unresolved conversations, and lingering fears often resurface quietly, influencing behavior without warning. Shielding the day involves refusing to relive yesterday's pain or anticipate tomorrow's worry. It is choosing presence and stability in the now. This conscious protection prevents emotional sabotage and restores control over responses. Those who understand this principle do not wait for problems to appear before seeking protection. They act proactively, recognizing that prevention is more effective than repair. By covering the day intentionally, they reduce unnecessary conflicts, avoid emotional traps, and maintain inner balance. Their strength is preserved because it is not constantly spent on avoidable battles. As this practice becomes consistent, life begins to feel lighter, not because challenges disappear, but because their impact is reduced. Focus sharpens, peace stabilizes, and distractions lose power. Shielding the day creates an environment where purpose can thrive without constant interruption, and progress becomes sustainable because energy is guarded, attention is protected, and the unseen is addressed before it manifests. Walking consciously under divine guidance and peace is the foundation of a life that thrives amid uncertainty and challenge. Many people move through their days reactively, responding to circumstances, opinions, and pressures without intentional direction. This often leads to stress, wasted effort, and a sense of disconnection from purpose. To walk consciously is to move with awareness, intention, and alignment, choosing each step based on clarity rather than habit or impulse. It is a posture of attentiveness, where every decision is weighed against guidance that transcends human understanding. Divine guidance provides insight beyond the visible and understanding beyond experience. When a person walks under this guidance, they are not left to navigate life by trial and error. Decisions are informed, timing is synchronized, and paths that seem confusing become navigable. Walking consciously means pausing to sense direction before acting, listening for instruction, and responding in alignment with what is revealed. This practice transforms ordinary actions into intentional steps that carry weight and impact, producing results that are consistent with purpose and destiny. Peace accompanies this guided walk because confidence and trust replace anxiety and uncertainty. Many failures and frustrations arise from rushed decisions, scattered thoughts, and internal conflict. When guidance is acknowledged and followed, the heart is calm even when circumstances are intense. Peace is both a shield and a compass, protecting from impulsive reactions while orienting the mind toward the right course. It allows a person to act decisively without fear, knowing that the steps taken are in harmony with a higher order. Walking consciously under guidance also protects against distraction and deception. Life is filled with options, influences, and pressures that can easily lead a person astray. Awareness rooted in guidance provides discernment, enabling one to distinguish between true opportunity and mere temptation. Each interaction, task, and decision is approached with intention, reducing wasted effort and avoiding unnecessary setbacks. The mind and spirit are synchronized, producing focus that multiplies effectiveness across all areas of life. Those who practice this principle consistently develop a rhythm where alignment and action coexist. Their days are marked by clarity, stability, and progress. Challenges no longer produce panic. They produce measured responses. Opportunities are not missed. They are recognized and seized in accordance with purpose. Walking consciously under guidance transforms life from reactive survival into purposeful navigation, creating an experience where peace governs, wisdom directs, and every step carries intentionality that aligns with destiny.